My name is Ghazal and welcome to the second iVlog of Management Information Systems MIS 201. We'll be discussing the several chapters which are Chapter 5, Chapter 12, and Chapter 6 and 7. So basically we'll start off with talking about business intelligence. Now to begin with, the objectives of this chapter is actually to be discussing the phases that are involved in the decision-making process and different ways that organizations could be using BI, which is business intelligence, and also the applications of BI presenting the data analysis to the users in several operations, etc. Now we're going to be discussing the three different phases that are involved in the decision-making process. There's the intelligent phase, there's the design phase, and the choice phase. Now for the intelligence phase, we're going to be basically asking each other the question, what is the problem? We need to analyze and examine and assess the problem in order to narrow down our option into thinking what are our current options, which is the design phase. And then finally the choice phase is basically implementing the chosen option, and basically we're going to be trying to assess the option that we picked and assess if it actually turned out to be a failure or a success. Now, we know that all managers have specific roles, which are informational, interpersonal, and decisional, in which each one of them has a specific skill. Now, we all know that decision making could be difficult as there would be so many substitutes and alternatives. There could be time pressure, there could be uncertainty going on in the surrounding environment, there could be many factors that could actually make the decision making process even more difficult. Now for the framework, there's the problem structure, there's the nature of decisions, there's the decision matrix, etc. There is actually strategic planning, there is management and operational planning, which is also supported by the IS. And basically the strategic planning obviously it evaluates and assesses and identifies, as well as management, operational, they're the day-to-day operations, as we all know. And basically further we could discuss the structured, semi-structured, and unstructured, and each one of them how it actually works. Basically the structured way, they actually provide potential solutions, and the semi-structured, they actually do provide specific solutions, but I don't think they would be they would actually lead to having enough definite recommended like a solution or something. And the unstructured, basically there is no rules or a specific thing that could guide you into solving the issue or providing an actual proper solution. So moving on into the definition of business intelligence. So basically business intelligence is considered a support for the organizational transformation, the development of infrastructure, and basically other related BI applications. But the thing about business intelligence is that it could be very rich in data, and at the same time the information could be poor. So it doesn't have to be necessarily like rich of accurate information or accurate data. All right, now basically we have three different analytics, which are the descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. Now the descriptive is basically what has happened, what's going on. There has to be a description of what happened in that analytics. And the predictive is basically what could happen. You're basically predicting what is possible to happen, basically regression, data mining, linear, logistic regression, whatsoever. And the prescriptive is basically what should we do, like an optimization, or it could be a solution of what could be done in order for that thing to be solved. So those are the three very important analytics that are involved in the process of business intelligence. Now, obviously there are other presentation tools, which are dashboards, figures, other groups. There could be so many things that are involved. Let's not forget mentioning the DSS, which is basically the descriptive support systems that are involved with sensitivity, what if, or goal-seeking analysis, how it works. And then now we could basically talk about the dashboards and the real-time business intelligence, data visualization technologies, and all those things, and how they have the like how each one of them could have specific capabilities into going into details, or there's like critical factors, there could be key performance whatsoever. There's actually so many capabilities that are discussed for each and every single one, where it talks more and more details and information could be elaborated through those specific BI applications. Okay, for example, like we could talk about how the each one of them, like the key performance indicators, the KPI, is basically a quantifiable metrics a company uses to evaluate progress, to see how far has we come, has the staff came with the progress basically. And now moving on onto the next point, which is talking about networking and telecommunications, basically discussing first thing, which is the most basic thing that everyone needs to know, which is the LAN, which is the local area network, and the WAN, which is the wide area network, in which each one of them has a way of connection. For example, the LAN, it connects two or more in a very limited geographical region. And talking about the wide area, it basically covers a large area where it connects, obviously, uh, having more than one connection. And basically the WAN, it actually typically connects several LANs. And basically the router, as we all know, is the processor that routes messages from an LAN through the internet to several LANs to a wide area of network, in order to have the network that we all have, for example, at home or whatever. We have also the software defined network, which is basically how the network traffic flow, it has a specific flow across network devices managed by a specific software, which is the SDN. All right, and there's actually digital signals, and they're the basic signals that could be moved on to analog signals, and that process could be called modulation. And basically going from analog signals into digital signals, this is called demodulation. All right, and there will be actually many different communication channels, communication medias, in order to basically it could be a medium of communication of data from one place to another. Obviously there could be like the IP addresses, there could be other factors as well. There's something called the basically the IP address is the responsible for delivering data from during transmission, and there could be the packets, which are, they're actually small fixed bundles of data before transmission, and switching those packets, it could be basically the breakup block of data into packets. This is called the switching packets, which actually could include the sender's IP address, the receiver's IP address, the number of packets, all of this. And now we're gonna be talking about basically, and also throughout this chapter, we could like the chapter is basically supported by providing an example of how COVID-19 basically impacted the network services in the UAE, and how much those network services could like had a specific impact on what all of us have been going through, and how it could like it made our lives easier, or what are the struggles that we faced with network services due to COVID-19, such as using the e-learning, collaboration, which is what we're using currently, e-learning, like visual learning, communication, telecommuting, virtual universities, basically, etc. Now there is also the unified communications, which is what it's basically a form of communication that we all basically use on daily basis. For example, chatting, mail, voices, services, whatsoever, all of those things. And obviously collaboration and the group work, they like this chapter talks about how we could use all of those, basically the variety of facilities, in order to actually learn, group work, collaborate, communicate, all of those things through collaboration. And basically there's also we're going to be discussing the different types of e-commerce and e-businesses, where each one of them, it's basically a process of buying and selling and exchanging products and services all through the internet. There's also this degree of digitization, which is the extent commerce has become into physical, into digital, into virtual organizations where we could actually purchase something off of the internet. And there's actually so many steps that could guide us through on how we'd be using the credit cards and how credit cards works from literally the purchase of the item all the way until how this item and the amount is credited from the bank onto the store, onto you, and all of those things. And it talks about how the business, how like basically e-commerce mechanisms like auctions and other marketplaces like e-commerce, and how business models could be like, there could be online marketing, there could be viral marketing, group purchasing, it could be easy access, you could actually find the best prices, deals, different offers, different things, product customization, all those things you could find them through business models on e-commerce. Now there are different types of e-commerce, which is the B2B, which is business to business. There's the mobile commerce, the e-government. There's the B2C, business to customer. There's customer to customer, C2C, and there is B2E as well, business to employees. There are actually different things several types of e-commerce, and also e-businesses as well. So basically, as we said, basically e-commerce or e-businesses could be very easy to access. They could be accessible. There's services access 24/7. There's so many things, so many information. But at the same time, there's lack of security standards. There could be insufficient bandwidth, or it could be expensive. There could be unsolved legal issues. There's a critical mass of buyers and sellers. That's where things could go wrong. So like the following chapters, they discuss several things that are related to networking services, e-commerce, e-businesses, and the things that could be very useful, because we're actually going through all that, and we're actually currently using the collaboration in the internet, virtual learning, and we actually do a lot of online shopping, especially nowadays, for any minor thing. So it could be really beneficial to actually learn more about it. And I hope you found this vlog useful. See you next vlog.